Are you trying to apply for a job, but keep getting stuck trying to solve stupid algorithms over and over again? Well, no longer is this going to be a problem, because in today's video, I'm going to go over the two-sum algorithm and show you the most efficient way to solve the problem. Let's get started now. The two-sum algorithm is a great algorithm to get started with because the answer to the solution is really easy to come by, but that obvious answer is definitely not the most efficient. There is a more efficient and more complex answer to this problem, which once you understand it, really opens your eyes to thinking about these algorithms in a different light than just trying to brute force it in the easiest way possible. It's also not too difficult to come across this less obvious answer, which is why it's a great starting place for anyone looking to learn more algorithms. Let's go through what the algorithm is asking us to do. It's saying that given an array of integers, so numbers, we want to return the indices of those numbers inside the array, such that those two numbers that we return add up to a specific target number we're asking for. Also, it says that we can assume that there's exactly one solution for every single array, so we don't have to worry about returning multiple different answers to the problem. There's only ever two numbers in the array that add up to the target. So, for example, given the numbers 2, 7, 11, and 15, we want to find which indices in that array add up to the target number of 9. And in our case, this is going to be the number at the index 0, and the number at the index 1, in our case 2 and 7, so we would return an array of 0 and 1, and that would be the answer to the problem. So if we jump over to the whiteboard here, we can kind of see our basic initial algorithm written out. We have our givens up here at the top, we have our array of integers, which is our numbers, and also the target, which is the integer we want to add up to. And of course we want to return the indices of the two numbers that add together to make that target. So the naive approach of the initial approach, which is not the most efficient, is to first, we have here a loop going over all of our numbers, so we get our number and index for each of the numbers in our given array up here. And then we loop through that number array again a second time, and we want to check to see if our two numbers here, number plus number 2, which is from our second loop of the array, add up to equal that target. And if they do, then we return both of those indexes inside of an array. And this works 100% of the time, and our code will 100% execute. But the problem is we have a loop inside of another loop, which means we have to run through this numbers array once for every single number inside the numbers array, which means it's a big O notation of n squared, which is really bad. It's really slow, and as the array gets larger and larger, this method is going to become exponentially slower. So what we want to do is we want to go through this array of numbers only one time instead of going through it twice, as you can see here, which essentially means we want one for loop and not multiple for loops. And in order to do that, we need to keep track of all the numbers that we've already looked at and what numbers we need. So let's take a look at how we do that. So here I have our new algorithm, and it starts out very similar to our previous algorithm. We're looping through all the different numbers in our array, getting the number and the index, but there's no other for loops inside of here. The way that we're calculating if we've encountered the numbers that we need is we're using this previous values variable here to store all the previous values that we've encountered to see if we have already encountered the value that adds up to make the target. And if you look down here a ways, you see first we're getting the number that we need. Right here we're getting the needed value by subtracting the current number from the target, and that's what other number we need to add up to make this number. Then inside of our previous values here, we're checking have we encountered that needed value before, and if we have, we're going to get an index here. So if that index exists, we know that we have both the indexes we need in order to solve this problem, so we return those indexes. But if that index does not already exist, what we do is we store that number as the key of our hash, and then the value of that hash is going to be the index where that number took place. So essentially, we're just restoring our array inside of a hash, which means we can look up the number instantly without having to loop through our entire array every single time to see if the number exists. So now that we have a high-level understanding of this algorithm, let's go ahead and implement this using JavaScript. To get started programming this, we need to first create that previous values hash that we had, so we can just set that to an empty object, and then we want to loop through all of our different numbers. I'm just going to use a traditional for loop here, so we can say we have a variable I, we want to initialize it as 0, and then what we want to do is we want to say when I is less than our numbers.length, all we want to do is add 1 to I every single time, and inside of here we can do all of the code for checking our values. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to get the value that we need. So we can create a variable called needed value, and we can set that equal to our target minus our current number, which we also should probably set to a variable. So we can say our current number is just going to be equal to nums with the index of I, and down here we can use that current number just like that. So now we know which value we need. It's going to be our needed value, and we can check to see if we have an index that is equal to that. So we'll just set this equal to be index2 is going to be equal to previous values, and we're going to check the object to see if it has something for the key of needed value. Make sure I spell that correctly. And there we go. And the next thing we can do is our actual if. So we can say if index2 is not equal to null, then that means that we have something for that object and we can return it down here. So we just want to say return index2 and index, and that's all perfect. And now, in case, for example, we don't have anything for our index2, we want to save that. So we can take our previous values that we have, we can take our current number, and we of course just want to store the index for that current number, which in our case is I. So make sure I change this to I. And that should be everything we need to do to get this working. So let's click run code down here, and it's running, and you see that it finished. Our output was exactly what we were expecting to get, so that's perfect. So let's submit this. Let's click the submit button. It's judging right now. And if we look over here, we can see that we got a success. Our runtime was 72 milliseconds, which is quite a bit faster than most of the other submissions, which is really great. Also, the memory footprint was a little bit less, which is also really good. And if we were to have done this the slower way with the double for loop, you'll know that this runtime would have been a lot slower here. And that's how you solve the two-sum algorithm. If you enjoyed it, please let me know down in the comments below. I enjoyed making this video a lot, and I'd love to make other videos like this in the future, but I need you to let me know you're enjoying it so I know to make more videos. Also, when you're going about solving your own algorithms, I highly recommend the whiteboard method because it makes solving the algorithms so much easier. And with that out of the way, thank you all very much for watching this video, and I hope you have a good day.